Okay, so the final one we're going to look at is the note experience. Again, you can see we have the details here, game details, related documents. Description, and I've got the video here as well, so we can access that if we want to have a look at that. That's the analysis video we looked at earlier on. So the player finds various notes written on paper throughout the game world. These notes tell part of the story and provide clues to solving puzzles. The contents of the notes are copied to the journal so the player has access to them once they are found. Okay, so in Amnesia Rebirth, notes are often old, dirty, and the paper they've been written on has been damaged and torn in some way. So notes are found throughout the game world. When the player finds a note, they can pick it up and read it. Notes can contain text and images. A small area of the screen explains the controls. The notes look handwritten and are often difficult to read. The player can bring up an overlay of readable text in an easy-to-read font. You can kind of see that there. Their main role is in telling the story and providing clues to the game puzzles. Once they've been read, they become available in the player's journal. So I've got a bit of an analysis here. I guess all questions that I've got here, which came up to me when I was actually doing the analysis. Why do notes appear where they do in the world? There's no explanation kind of around this. Has someone just written the note and then thrown it away in a convenient place for the player to find? The game offers no explanation for the appearance of notes in the world. Some of them make sense, such as the note left next to the body of Salim, which we saw just before, which he wrote when he knew when he was dying. But more often than not, a note just conveniently appears to be in the right spot at the right time. This is not a cognitive deal breaker for the player. It's certainly not, because it's used very often in games. But it does make it stand out as somewhat brute force storytelling device at times. So it does actually come out. I did find myself thinking, why is this note here? Who wrote it? And then why did they throw it away at this point in the game? There's no actual answer to that. There are ways this could be done which would make more sense. Are there ways that could be done which would make more sense? I was asking this myself. Possibly if the characters writing the notes had good reason to write them and there was a good reason for them to be in the place they were found. And referring to another game, Alien Isolation, which does this a bit better, where emails are found on terminals throughout the space station. But due to the nature of Amnesia Rebirth, this solution was not applicable. So it is a question. It's not a game breaker. This is an important thing. But from a design point of view, it is interesting to look at these different things because people will ask these questions. It's like in, say, a film, where you've got a motivation that just isn't there for a character. Like you ask yourself, why did the character go and do that? All right, so let's carry on. So I've got experience categories here. We have emotional, so the emotions experienced are related to the part of the story being told. So this is fairly similar to the journal because the journal and the notes are quite closely related. Psychological mental state, really not so much. Meaningful, so the text and images provide story and clues to the game puzzles. Structural, the notes are very important to the timing that the story is revealed. This is usually linked directly to the player's progression through the game world. Notes may provide background story, character description, or an elaboration upon the scene the player has experienced. Okay, so it does provide structure for the actual revealing of the story itself. Let's go and have a look at the note manager, so the next level down. What have we got here? So we have, again, just the details up here. The note manager manages all aspects of the note experience. Now, again, I found myself using this pretty much for all the experiences. So we have the experience at the top, and the top level of each experience really is some sort of manager. Having actually sort of created some of these experiences and written them, and we'll see those later on. From a development point of view, having this conceptual manager there works as well. So from a design point of view, we do need a way to manage what's going on. So this is the active relationships diagram for the notes. And you can see we have the game world, we have the note experience, the note manager, which has a one-to-one relationship with the journal manager there. So they do communicate with each other. This time we have a one-to-many relationship here with our note pickups. Okay, so now this is this is where we have to start thinking from a game design point of view. What's going on here? So we have a many one-to-many relationship here, or one-to-many relationship here, and I've called this note pickup. Now, why have I called this note pickup? Well, basically, if you watch what goes on in the game itself, is that we look at the note which is on the ground. We hit our use key, whatever it is, and then what happens is that the note viewer pops up with the text from that note. Now, they're not the same thing, even though conceptually in the game, or what we're doing is we're picking up the note and we're looking at the note. But the note viewer and the note pickup are not the same thing. So it's an important distinction there from when we're actually creating it. There is only one note viewer, so we have a note manager and we have a note viewer. Let's have a look at, got a few descriptions here. Note pickups throughout the world. Yes, I think I've just said what I said here. I've also said this, so the paper can be rotated in this game 360 degrees so the player can see both front and back. The player can press the key to show a plain text overlay, which I've mentioned a few times. That's actually very important. The note manager communicates with the journal manager, telling it when the note pickups have been found as well. Okay, so here we have the interaction diagram. So this is where we have communication and interaction going on. The avatar interacts with the note pickups. The note pickup then goes and communicates with the note manager, telling, hey, I've been picked up, which then goes and communicates to the note viewer, saying, hey, go and show this note in the world. It also, someone's just started vacuuming there. It's also, the note manager is also communicating to the journal manager that this piece of text or image has been found, and goes and tells. So when we open the journal next time, that's actually visible. Let me pause there. I'll see if I can get rid of this vacuuming in the background. I'll be back in a sec.